Greetings, YouTube. You might care about this, you might not, but I do and have been active since I was 15, and that was over half my life ago. Occasionally go to counseling. I truly believe that talking through your demons and your anxieties and just your day with a stranger that can keep everything confidential is something every human being should do. It's just a healthy exercise. It's like an emotional and psychological and spiritual cleanse, if you will, of your soul every once in a while. With that being said, ever since I started playing this game, I have had deepening trust issues that have sometimes found themselves outside of the game. Those trust issues revolve around Kabam, a company that creates the game that I spend more time playing often and answering messages and creating videos than I do eating or even sleeping, talking to friends and family. Like, this game has been the center of my life for over 6 years now, which I say that it sort of feels like a cry for help, but it's also just hard to believe because this game is, you play it every day, and then every day turns into every week, and then every turns into every month, and then you blink and suddenly it's like, oh, it's this year's spring cleaning event. It's this year's July 4th. It's this year's Cyber Weekend. It's this year's gifting event. With all that being said, we have this new pro player supposed daily quest that you can see when you log into this game, is Catalyst Vault. Now, I did a video over the other Catalyst Vault, aka the Proving Grounds, and how much this needed to be desperately buffed. And maybe it will be this year, I don't know. But what I do know is that that was not addressed at all in the Catalyst Vault. Now, don't get me wrong. I think for newer players and even progressing players that especially aren't yet uncollected, this is a pro player move because we've gotten rid of specific days for the Catalyst Vault. Now, what's interesting is you've gotten rid of specific days, but you still have the same daily special days. So today's technically skill day. It's a Wednesday, even though we don't have a specific Catalyst day anymore. You can see in the thumbnail, in the progression screen, that every class of every day is now every day, which is good because it's a selector. But I started out this video talking about trust issues, and I wasn't just talking about that to vent, because Kabam on paper said they were doing this to give players a better chance to earn the rank ups that they need, especially with 3 stars and 4-star champions, without having to wait, say, a week for that champions class to come around. And I do think, in all fairness, that's a good thing. I think this is going to help people who might be overwhelmed trying to rank up the champions, especially when they start the game, feel a little bit better about having more control over acquiring said rank up items. But with that being said, I had a summoner that I awoke to a email from Mr. Andrew Field, shout out to Andrew, hit me up with a Catalyst Fragment Cache after doing both paths of, I believe, the Expert difficulty. That is the exact opposite of a pro player move. Now I'm going to transition real quick from my game to my photos. So, ask yourself this question. If this offer popped up on your screen, the Catalyst Fragment Cache, a daily quest that's refusing to relinquish its treasures, and you can guarantee Catalyst Fragments for a price. These class Catalyst selectors grant 9,000, right? 9,000 Tier 4 class Catalyst Fragments of your choice. That's 1/4 of, well, a Tier 4 class Catalyst. How much would you pay for that? How much would you pay for a 25% Tier 4 Class Catalyst Fragment Selector? How much should players that are starting pay for this in units? I think maybe 100 units, but maybe closer to 50 units. If you're going to do all that work to have this offer pop up, you should be rewarded with a reasonable offer. I say reasonable too. Once again, I will switch back to the other game. I say reasonable because when you look at the daily special, yes, it's not a selector, but you get 9,000 Tier 4 skill. If you're Cavalier, you get 4,500. If you get a Grandmaster daily special. And that's $5, right? $5. But you don't just get that day's Tier 4 Class Catalyst Fragments, of course. You get the main point, the Grandmaster Crystal or the Cavalier Skill Crystal in this case, half a Tier 4 Basic or some Tier 5 Basic, some Tier 2 Alpha, some 5-star shards, though they could definitely buff the 5 and 6-star shards, even though it's only $5. So, you know, a lot more for $5 than just the Tier 4. Back to the offer review at hand. Well, they also give you, I'm going to hide my screen real quick. They also give you the definition of a small amount of gold. So, 10,000 gold is literally $1 worth of gold. They give you $1 worth of gold and 25% of a Tier 4 Class Catalyst Fragment Selector for the grand price of not 50 units or 100 units, but 200 units. Which means, if you were to do the math, and we are, because that's what this channel specializes in, for better or for worse, if it's 24% Tier 4 Class Catalyst Fragment Selector, you would, in theory, even though it's limit 1, need to buy 4 of these to get 1 Tier 4 Class Catalyst Selector for 800 units, which is almost $30. It is almost $30 in 2022 to have a newer summoner or progressive summoner, though I guess anybody can see this offer regardless of what progression, form 1 Tier 4 Class Catalyst Fragment Selector or a 100% Selector. So over the course of 4 days, you can spend, because you're so lucky, almost $30 to form 1 Tier 4 Class Catalyst. That, my friends, is the opposite of a pro player move. It's a scam. And even though I do believe that this new catalyst opportunity is very good for especially progressing players, though if you buy the Black ISO store, I haven't thought about especially Tier 2 and Tier 3 class catalysts since it came in, because you can trade basics for classes every week, and so my stash overflows with more than I need. Now, obviously, I'm in a unique and blessed situation because I played this game since almost the beginning, and a lot of people who play this game don't have that. But still, I never think about that. I think about Tier 4 Basic and Tier 5 Basic and Tier 2 Alpha. But I'm in a different spot than those progressing players, and I should remind myself that they're trying to rank up 3 stars. Either way, watch out for this scam. I do think some of this is good, but not this offer. Thank you again to our good friend, Mr. Andrew Field, for the screenshot. This was certainly a ripoff and a scam overall, and I hope players don't fall for it because it's a huge ripoff.